Wait. This isn't right. Coffee. It's that beautiful thing that allows us to get up in the morning and face our days. Some people say it's the only reason that they're able to face their days. Other people blame the beautiful brown bean juice as the reason why millennials are in such debt, because they're just so cripplingly addicted to it. But, you know, it couldn't be anything else, like hundreds of disadvantages that we were born into because of previous generations' mistakes. But often these days it is used as a reason why people are intellectually superior. As in, they think that it makes them better. Yes, indeed, coffee is the new wine. And I kind of think that's unfair. Something should be done about that. But first, maybe a change of scenery. It's a lot more appropriate. Now, what makes me qualified to talk about this? Well, I actually read the entire Wikipedia page for like 30 minutes. Also, I was a barista and did some cooking things for quite a while in my life. But you know, other things. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start, I'm told. The genus of coffee starts off in Africa, around the Ethiopian area of the continent. Now, there is no clear answer to who was first, like, I should eat these beans. But my personal favorite story is the story of the herdsman who saw his goats eating all of these berries and saw them get really hyper afterwards and was like, you know what? I'ma have what they're having. Which, I mean, is the appropriate reaction to seeing some goats get high off some weird fruit. And you did actually hear me correct. Coffee is technically a berry, but in the same way that tomatoes are technically fruit. It's like, yes they are, but Now, we don't know exactly when we started mixing beans with hot or cold water in order to create that beautiful brown liquid, but it was probably around the same time we were messing around with goats. Fun fact, the word coffee actually comes from an ancient Arabic word which means to prevent sleep, which is so much cooler. We should just name everything exactly what it does. It's way fun. Now, in the 15th century, coffee started to rocket outside of the Arab Peninsula, where it had comfortably sat mostly for the last 500 years. That and the area that it was originally grown in. For a while, it was proclaimed as a drink that could solve a lot of illnesses, but I'm not gonna go into whether or not it helps or detracts from your health, because you know, that is not the type of negativity that I need inside my video. Save it for the comments. Skipping over hundreds of years of colonialization, we get to 1901, where Luigi Bezzara patents the first ever commercial espresso machine. He did this so that his workers in the business that he owned would take less time during their lunch breaks making coffee. You know, who knew Luigi was such a slave driver? I mean, I suppose Yoshi did, but Luigi is such a bad person. Later, in 1905, the patent was born by another person, Duristo Pavoni, or however you say that, I'm bad at pronunciation. He created what we know as the first real espresso machine. So in a way, he's the original barista coffee nerd. That's the thing. And you know, it's nice to know that the coffee machine that we mainly use is made out of a love for the coffee and not out of a need to force people to work harder and faster. Thus, we are off to the hipster races, so get your scarves, your philosophy books, and that half-finished novel that you swear you were going to finish, but you've not quite had enough time, because it's time to go over some types of coffee and coffee initiative! You're probably watching this to shut up your coffee-obsessed friend, which is a fair thing to do, because honestly, we all have one and they're really annoying. Now, coffee gets a lot of its flavors apparently from the soil, like wine, because it's a fruit, but there's a lot complicated things that go into that, and I don't pretend to be an expert on them, so there are things that happen in the soil, and that's important to know. Does it really affect your coffee enjoyment? Nah, not really. What does is the method of drying. Apparently this has a massive effect. Some people sun-dry their coffee beans, while other people use heating lamps and other methods, like having monkeys eat them and then picking it out from their feces. I wish I was joking. Now the next stage is the one that you've probably actually heard about. It's the coffee roasting section. And yes, this is the section that you hear most about when you go in there like, what roast would you like? Now during the roast, most beans are roasted at around 200 degrees for varying amounts of time. It's roasted at 200 degrees Celsius because Fahrenheit is dumb. It also is cooked at this temperature because it's the temperature at which all of those nice little chemicals inside it start to caramelize, and that's what gives everything the beautiful taste that we're looking for. Now, the longer it's cooked for, the more of those wonderful chemicals turn into sugar, and the less caffeine is present. So lighter roasts equals more caffeine. So if you just want a buzz, lighter roast. That's probably what you want. Now we're going to talk about instant coffee. I'm never going to talk about instant coffee because it's terrible. And in my 6 years of being a student and having to drink it because I can't afford anything else, I have thrown up multiple times because of it. It's just the worst. Don't drink it. Don't pay for that. Anyway, back to the video. Moving on quickly, let's go to all of those names of things that you don't quite understand on that menu, and I don't really either, so let's go through them. Quick rundown. Affogato. Americano. Bersini. Beret. Caffè bonbon. Caffè au lait. Caffè corretto. Caffè crema. Caffè latte. Caffè macchiato. Caffè melon. Coffee milk. Caffè mocha. Caffè suda. Cappuccino. Carogillo. Cortado. Cuban espresso. Espresso. Isa cafe. The flat white. Frappuccino. Galao. Greek frap coffee. Iced coffee? Instant. Irish coffee. Liqueur coffees. Brandy coffee. Cafe Mendoza. Cookie coffee. English coffee. Calypso coffee. Jamaican coffee. Shin Shin coffee. Monk's coffee. Savile coffee. Witch's coffee. Russian coffee. Corfu coffee. Cafe fatigue. Cafe corretto. Kopi luwak. Turkish coffee. Armenian coffee. Viennan coffee. Yongyang. And now we're going to discuss each and every single one of them in depth. Except we're not, because that's not the point of this video. If you haven't worked out the point of the video, that's because I haven't said it yet. No, the point of this video is that all coffee is delicious. All of it is wonderful. And you know something? If you just enjoy filter coffee, that's fine. It's a wonderful, tasty thing. And you should appreciate the beautiful brown juice, because in the end of the day, it's what you enjoy. And that is what's important. Some people might like those fancy things, and every so often you should go out there and take a chance and try something new. When the people at the coffee shop ask you what you want, you can just say, I'll have a light roast. And there you have it. Because the most beautiful thing about coffee is that it doesn't matter. It's just brown bean juice.